Welcome back to the Preneur Life. Today we're going to talk about the 10 things that school did not teach me. Let's get right into it. Welcome back, Preneurs. Today we're going to be talking about the 10 things that school didn't teach me. Maybe you can relate as well. I would love to hear your comments and your ideas on what I'm about to talk about next. Let's go right to these top 10, all right? First one is, it didn't teach me how to sell. I don't know about you, but I didn't learn how to sell in school at all. I learned it more actually getting into business, actually being around other mentors outside of school. That's really taught me. And I think this is a very important skill, honestly. Very, very important skill, because if I'm not mistaken, you have to articulate yourself for the rest of your life. And if you have a spouse, you got to talk to them about what you want. Vice versa. If you have kids, you got to tell them why they got to eat vegetables. And whatever you do, if you're trying to get a job, you have to sell yourself why you should get that job. So selling is such a big deal, and it's something that we need to start actually talking a lot more about. That's why it's number one on my list. And I wish I would have learned this a lot earlier in life. And I wish that school would have taught this to me, because it would have been able to propel me a lot faster on my trajectory of what I want to do with my own personal career. I think it'd do it for you as well. But it did not teach me that. So number one on my list is what? Selling. What else did it not teach me? How to think. It didn't teach me how to think at all. And what I really mean by that, when I say thinking, I'm talking about getting down to the deeper levels of thinking, like how to process issues, how to understand the pros and cons of different things before I actually truly make a decision. So instead of just making decisions because of impulses, because of feelings, because of what's going on right now, and oh, someone else is doing that as well, maybe I should follow what they did. No. Can I process it so I can be able to make sure that that decision is going to be calculated effectively for me in my life? I wish school would have taught me that, but unfortunately it didn't teach me that. Maybe it taught you, but it hasn't taught me. Well, guys, that brings me to point number 3, which is what school didn't teach me, is how to find my passion. I don't know about you, but I wish that school would have helped me discover this a lot earlier. Because after I left school, I went through a time in my life where I became functionally depressed for a little bit. I was like, man, I don't know what my next move is going to be. I thought basketball was going to be that route. And when basketball stopped, I was in transition, like, okay, I'm stuck in limbo. And I know people to this day, has nothing to do with age, has nothing to do with any of that are still stuck in that state where they say, I don't know what my passion is. I think school could have did a lot better at helping me discover what my passions were, so I knew my next best move was going to be leaving college. And I hope it helps you as well if you're in it right now. But if not, discover it faster than me. Number 4, okay, is how to actually look at income taxes. I wish I would have learned this in school. Let me tell you how important it is. And I went to school for business, and it's kind of interesting why I learned this. Is because I would have learned how not to overpay in taxes when I had my career. I would have learned how to understand tax brackets. I would have learned how to be able to add value, especially when you look at the tax benefits in the US. I would have learned all that, so I would have been, again, paying my overshare in taxes. I would have been able to have a lot more benefits into my pocket, to my household, because of understanding this. This is such a big deal. I wish school would teach more about it. Hopefully they're doing it today, but it didn't teach me. Number 5, how to start a business. I wish school would have helped me discover this a lot faster as well, because starting a business is such a big deal. If when I was in school, I would have been looking and solving problems all throughout campus. I would have said, oh my gosh, that's an issue. I would have been able to solve it. I would have been putting business plans together right then and there. I would have been starting business as I was going to school, creating additional income streams for myself. I wish I would have did that in school. I wish this would have helped me actually contribute to that, but it didn't teach me how to start a business. Another one is number 6. School did not teach me how to communicate well. A lot of people come to me and say, Curtis, you are articulate, you know how to speak well. I'm like, you have no clue who I was. If you would have found me in school and you would have asked me to public speak, oh my gosh, I would have been stuttering the whole time. I would be sweating profusely the whole way. I probably would have peed on myself. That's kind of how bad it was. I hated speaking. Like, it's so funny to me that I actually even do videos, because I actually hate speaking. It's so funny, right? And so communicating well did not happen because of school, all right? It happened outside of school, running businesses, speaking to others, having mentors challenge me, increase me, develop me. That environment changed me, not school, unfortunately. So really question was I even comfortable even speaking, or my thoughts? School did not teach me how to be comfortable in speaking my thoughts. And that's a big issue. And I think that needs to be discovered if you're in it right now. Number 7, what did school did not teach me? How to negotiate. It didn't teach me how to negotiate. All right. So if I wanted to buy a new car, I probably would have paid all overpriced everything because I didn't know how to negotiate it down. If I wanted to purchase a house, I didn't know how to negotiate. They didn't teach me any of that when I exited college. So dealing with confrontation was a big issue. Why? Because I didn't know how to handle it because it didn't teach me how to negotiate. So once I learned after leaving college is how to negotiate and how to find the win-win situations. But if school would have taught me this, my lifestyle would have been increased a lot faster. Why? Because I would again be able to meet with somebody, not just negotiate for my own good, but to negotiate for a win-win situation, which is one of my biggest principles, values. That's number 7. Number 8, managing your time. It did not teach me how to manage my time. Man, I was everywhere because you have all this freedom in college, right? And so what happened was my schedule was crazy. I was late half the time and all that. And a lot of people say, well, you should have learned how to manage your time because now you're free. It didn't work out very well for me. I don't know, maybe you're on the other side of this camera and you say, you know what, I'm just like you as well. I didn't understand the return back on my time. So it didn't really teach me how to really manage it effectively. And that still hurt me to this day in little different habits and vices that maybe all of us have that we say, oh man, I'm spending time on things that are not productive to my life. School could have helped me a little bit more with this, but it didn't help me enough, right? So next one is number 9. Okay, so how to invest my money. Okay, so when you're making money, okay, how to invest. I wish that while I was in school that I would have learned about stocks, crypto, all these different things, because how far would I have been if I would have started investing back when I was in school? What if I would have learned how to really start putting my money in different places while I was in school? That would have been a big deal for when I'm my adulthood, being able to increase when I start having a family and all those different things. But it didn't teach me any of that. I learned it after I had a family. I learned it after I had a business. I learned it after the fact. So hopefully that you're learning it currently if you're in it, or if you're thinking about going in it, hopefully they change the curriculum so they start teaching people how to invest money as well. And now next one, which is the last one, okay, which is how to make an impact. I think this is so big. Why? Because school's gonna go by like this. You're either gonna go there for 4 years, 5 years. Like it's the average length for someone to actually get the degree is 5 years right now. If you switch your degree a couple different times or whatever you're deciding to do for yourself. But really at the end of the day, what are you really doing it for? Because at the end of the day, you get a piece of paper, but what's the piece of paper going to contribute to you at the end of the day? Is it going to contribute to you, helping you to your culture? Is it going to help you impact your community? It's going to help you impact your country? Like, what are you doing to actually provide a true impact from going to school? I wish school would have got this clear for me. Okay, why? Because there was a lot of space and time where I wish I would have had more of a urgency leaving, where more of an impact would have been felt a lot earlier. So these are the top 10 things that school did not teach me. If you can relate with anything I just talked about, maybe you disagree. I would love to also hear some of your ideas, some of the things that maybe experiences you went through. Go in a comment. And if you have anyone that can also benefit from any of these as well, that can also relate with any of these 10, go ahead and share with them as well. So go ahead and make sure that you click that notification button if you haven't already, so you get updated all the new videos that we have coming out. And we'll see you on the next one, guys.